Good morning, dear students. So we have started complex number in our last class. No? Complex number. The general form of a complex number. Actually, complex number is denoted by the Z, the letter Z. So a complex number, suppose A plus iota B. Here it is as A is called real Z. Real Z. We write like this A, and B is called imaginary Z. B. And suppose there is a complex number Z1 is suppose A plus iota B, another complex number Z2 A say C plus iota D. So we can add the complex number, we can subtract one complex number from another complex number, we can divide one complex number by another complex number, we can also multiply two complex numbers. So let us see the addition, subtraction, multiplication and division of complex number. Okay, so if the complex number is not a it is not zero complex number, then we can divide one complex number by another complex number. So let us start with addition. I add Z1 with Z2, then I will get A plus iota B plus C plus iota D. Then real portions are A and C, we add together, plus imaginary portion is B plus D, so we add together. This is a new complex number. This is also a complex number, a new complex number. So like that, if we subtract, then from this we subtract suppose Z1 minus Z2, then you will get a new complex number which will be A minus C plus iota B minus D. Okay, if you multiply two complex numbers one with another, then you will get like this. See, suppose you want to multiply, this is second one that I have shown, subtraction I have shown, now multiplication I am going to show to you. So suppose I want to multiply Z1 with Z2, so Z1 is A plus iota B and Z2 is C plus iota D. So if we multiply A with C plus iota D, then iota B with C plus iota D, no? Then we will get here AC plus iota AD plus iota BC minus, because iota into iota is iota square is minus 1, so BD. So the final thing will be AC minus BD real portion, and the imaginary portion will be iota common here, AD plus BC. Okay, so remember this. So product of two complex numbers is also a complex number again. Now that means the closure property of complex number holds true for addition, subtraction and multiplication. Okay, now if a complex number is divided by another complex number, suppose we divide a complex number Z1 by Z2, provided Z2 is not equal to 0, means Z2 is not equal to 0, then we can get like this. Suppose Z1 is A plus iota B and Z2 is suppose C plus iota D. We can do one thing here to make this denominator real, means to get rid of this iota, we can do one thing here. If we multiply this C plus iota D with C minus iota D, provided C and D are not zeros, means C must not be equal to 0 and D also must not be equal to 0, then you can introduce another complex number which will be opposite of this one, okay, which can also be called conjugate of Z2. Conjugate of Z2 is equal to, that is C minus ID. I have introduced this term here now. Conjugate means what? When you change the sign in between the two parts, real and imaginary. Suppose there is a complex number 2 plus iota 3. Then if we write 2 minus iota 3, we will call this is conjugate of addition, or oppositely this is conjugate of addition, vice versa, that means. Okay, conjugate means that one. So now to make the denominator real, I said here to make the denominator just a real number, then we need to multiply this by its conjugate. Then the numerator also should be multiplied. A plus iota b should be multiplied with c minus iota d. Okay, then we'll get like this. As you know, this product is AC plus AC minus, that is AC iota, that is AC plus BD it will be, because iota b into iota d is just multiply and see. By distributive property you can multiply. A into C AC, A into iota d, that will be imaginary, iota b into C imaginary, then iota b into iota d will be real, but iota into iota is minus 1, and minus here also plus 1, that will be. So then plus iota b c minus AD. So this is the product, okay, divided by, it will be c square, as it is a plus b into a minus b type, no? So c square minus iota d whole square. So AC plus BD plus iota BC minus AD divided by c square minus iota square d square, which is equal to AC plus BD plus iota BC minus AD divided by c square plus d square. So or you can say AC plus BD divided by c square plus d square plus iota BC minus AD by c square plus d square. So this is the expression that you will get. So if we divide a complex number by a non-zero complex number, you will get a new complex number. So Z1 by Z2 is this one. Okay, dear students. So here also we can say about the laws. One associative law already. I said already this closure property. That closure property holds true for addition, multiplication, and division. Addition, multiplication, and subtraction. But for division, it will not hold true all the time, because if the denominator complex number is a 0, then it will not give us another complex number. It will not be defined actually. No. So let me tell you about existence of additive inverse. Additive inverse of a complex number. Next point is our additive inverse. So what is the method that we have applied here to divide a complex number by another non-zero complex number? Remember this. So this will be the real portion, real z. This will be the imaginary z. Okay, and this is iota will always be there. Now additive inverse. In this one, no, in other classes you have learned in mathematics that suppose I say 2 is a number. If I add it with minus 2, a real number, then it becomes 0. We call 2 is the additive inverse of minus 2 and vice versa. Means minus 2 is the additive inverse of plus 2. Like that, if there is a complex number and another complex number is there whose sum is 0, then we can say 1 is the additive inverse of the other. Now if Z1 is suppose A plus iota B, then what can be Z2? Because Z1 plus Z2 should be equal to 0. Z1 plus Z2 should be equal to 0. So Z1 is equal to minus Z2, or Z2 is equal to minus Z1. That means it will be minus A plus iota B. That means Z2 will be equal to minus A minus iota B. Okay, dear students. So when you say Z1 and Z2 are additive inverse of each other, if Z1 is A plus iota B, then we will understand Z2 is minus A minus iota B. Okay, that is the meaning of additive inverse of a complex number. Just before in the previous explanation, I was talking about conjugate of a complex number. What is conjugate of a complex number? Once again, let me tell you. Dear students, you recall we represent the these real numbers in a plane called Cartesian plane. No, by every point of the plane, we represent a pair of ordered pairs of numbers. No, say suppose I write here, say 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this is 2, 3. 2, 3 is a pair of ordered pairs of numbers. So if 2 minus 3, if I have to express no on the Cartesian plane, then 2 minus 3 will be here. 2 minus 3 will be here. So if this this x-axis, this is x-axis, the y-axis. If we consider this x-axis as a suppose mirror, then image of point A will be here at A dash. It will be just like a image only, no? You see this distance is equal to here this distance. So then you can say this is an image of this point. So 2, 3 is a pair of numbers whose you can say the corresponding pair which can be treated as an image, that is minus 2 minus 3. Like that, think about say complex number. Say Z1 is a complex number 2 plus iota 3, and Z2 is another complex number which is 2 minus iota 3. Okay, then Z1 if I express in the Cartesian plane, that time it will not be called a Cartesian plane. X-axis will be used for representing the real portion of the number, that is real coordinate, okay, real part of the complex number, and this y-axis will be considered to represent the imaginary part of the complex number. Okay, this will be for, this is imaginary axis, you can say imaginary axis. So this plane, that time it will be called complex plane. The xy plane can also be said as complex plane or Argand plane. Remember this, Argand plane. Complex plane or Argand plane. Okay, so this in this Argand plane we represent the what called imaginary numbers, imaginary part of the complex number, and here the real part of the complex number. So then this will be say 1, 2, 3 and so on here, and this will be for 1 I means iota, 1 iota, 2 iota, 3 iota, like that. So here will be 4 iota, 5 iota, 6 iota here, like that. In the negative part, minus iota, minus 2 iota, minus 3 iota, that way it will go on. So any complex number you want to represent geometrically in this plane, you can do so. What this axis will be called? Imaginary axis. What this axis will be called? This one real axis, or you can say yes, real axis. X-axis will be real axis. Now when a point will be marked like this 2, 3, it will be understood that this point A in the Argand plane, I am saying now, this point A which is shown as 2, 3, that point A actually represents a complex number which is imaginary part is real part is 2 and the imaginary part is iota 3, means 3 iota. Got the idea? So this is the complex number 2 plus 3 iota, or 2 plus iota 3. So this is suppose complex number Z1. Then its image will be 2 minus iota 3. So then that is complex number Z2. 2 minus iota 3 will be Z2. Then since one is the image of the other, when x-axis is the what call, you can say mirror line, then we say these two numbers are conjugate of each other. So generally a conjugate of a number, suppose a complex number Z1 is 2 plus iota 3, and its this one what called conjugate, we have to write conjugate. I am just saying conjugate we have to write. Then we can write like this, Z bar. Actually this Z bar will stand for Z2, means this number 2 minus iota 3. 2 minus iota 3. So this z is a complex number, and sorry, you can say z1 bar because it is z1. If z is a complex number, once again I am writing complex number, then z bar will be conjugate of z. That is also a complex number. So conjugate will be written with a bar symbol above the original complex number. So now suppose I have got z as a plus iota b, then conjugate of this z will be conjugate of z, complex number z, is z bar, which is actually a minus iota b. Got the idea? A minus iota b. This is the conjugate of the complex number. Okay? Dear students, let us see one more important fact, that is product of two imaginary numbers. When I say product of imaginary numbers, you should understand, that is, I mean to say, suppose a is a number, say minus 3, b is another, say minus 4, then where I will say under root a, that means you understand, minus under root minus 3, that can be written as 3 multiplied by minus 1, under root 3 multiplied by minus 1, that is equal to under root 3 under root minus 1, which can be written as under root 3 iota. Again, suppose under root b, if we write, then it will be under root 4 iota. Now if I multiply under root a with under root b, no, then I will get like this, under root 3 iota multiplied by under root 4 iota. That will give us under root 3 into 4 iota square is equal to under root 12 iota square is minus 1. So it will be minus under root 12. No? So now you see, if I think like this, that under root a into under root b, I can write it as under root a multiplied by b. Will it be correct? So because under root a multiplied by b, taking these numbers only, under root 3 and into under root 4, sorry, under root minus 3 and under root minus 4, if we multiply by this way, then it will be minus 3 multiplied by minus 4. So which will give us under root 12, which is contradictory to this one, which is to be taken as correct. This is correct. Under root a under root b is equal to minus under root 12. But under root minus a into under root b cannot be taken as under root a into b, because under root a into b is giving us this is under root 12. Got the idea? So that is under root a into under root b is not equal to under root a by b, a into b, because when a and b both are negative real numbers. Got the idea? Yes, students? So remember this fact, under root a into under root b is not equal to under root a into b all the time. Under root a into under root b is not equal to under root a into b if a and b are negative real numbers. Got the idea, dear students? So identities where complex numbers are involved, like z1 plus z2 are two complex number and they are square of the sum. So can be written as z1 square plus 2 times z1 z2 plus z2 square. So similarly, if it is minus, then it will be here minus. If z1 square minus z2 square we write, then it will be like that a plus b into a minus b only, z1 plus z2 multiplied by z1 minus z2 it will be. Then if we have z1 minus z2 the whole cube, one identity. If we want to create or plus, then it will be similar to our that a plus b whole cube identity. It is z1 cube plus 3 times z1 square z2 plus 3 times z1 z2 square plus z2 cube. Okay, if it is minus, if here is a minus sign, here will be minus sign, and here will be plus sign, and here will be again minus sign. Okay, so these are the identities that we can be will be using in our this chapter in algebra of complex numbers. Okay, dear students. So also I have told you about the geometrical representation of complex number in Argand plane. Today I have also talked about Argand plane, or what plane? Complex plane. What is Argand plane? When you divide the whole plane, this a flat surface is divided into 4 equal parts by drawing 2 mutually perpendicular straight lines. Then the horizontal line will be called real axis. To have plot here real numbers, and this vertical line will be called imaginary axis. Okay, to plot here imaginary parts of the complex numbers. So here will be, these are termed as minus iota, minus 2 iota, minus 3 iota, and so on. And here 1 iota, 2 iota, and so on. And here will be 1, 2, 3, and so on. Here will be minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Okay. So now, one more thing I would like to say here. When in a complex plane, you plot a number. Suppose you have plotted a number here, which is 3, 2. It is associated with this ordered pair, 3, 2. Actually, this 3, 2 can represent which complex number? 3 plus 2 iota. 3 plus 2 iota. So now if I say this way the horizontal distance is 3 unit, this way the distance is 2 unit, that is from this origin to that point the distance is what? It is 3 square plus square root of 3 square plus 2 square. So this 3 is actually real part of the complex number, 2 is imaginary part of the complex number. So real z is here, real z is 3, which is denoted by suppose a, and imaginary z is here 2. Now if I ask you in the complex plane, what is the distance of the complex number z from the origin? Complex number z, its distance. It can be written like this by Pythagoras theorem. Now we can say this is O, this is suppose A, this is suppose Z. In right triangle OAZ, in right triangle OAZ, OZ square is equal to OA square plus AZ square. Okay, OZ square, that is equal to OA is what? 3, or suppose by symbol you want to say this is A. Okay, and by symbol it is B. So we can write here A square plus here we can write B square. So OZ square. So which is OZ is equal to, taking square root, OZ is equal to square root of A square plus B square will get. So that is absolute value of Z. We denote it by absolute value sign. So modulus of Z. Modulus of Z is nothing but distance of the complex number from the origin. So in the Argand plane. So this is denoted by modulus of Z. So what is modulus of Z? If somebody asks you, then what will be your answer? It is the distance of the complex number in the Argand plane from the origin. Okay, let me write once again. So in the Argand plane, distance of a point AB, since it is a complex number, that is denoted by the modulus of the complex number like this. Modulus of Z, that is equal to under root A square plus B square. So this way it is, this distance is A, this distance is B, horizontal distance is A, vertical distance is B. then whenever you will write like this, you will understand you are talking about the absolute value of the complex number or modulus of the complex number, which is distance of the complex number from the origin. That is under root a square plus b square. Okay, dear students, try to remember these facts. So let us talk about multiplicative inverse of complex number z. So z is a complex number, that is a plus bi. Now multiplicative inverse means what? Suppose 2 and 1 by 2 you multiply, the result is 1. Then we say 2 is the multiplicative inverse of 1 by 2 and 1 by 2 is also multiplicative inverse of 2. So when product of two numbers is 1, then 1 is said to be the multiplicative inverse of the other. Like that, if z is a complex number and its multiplicative inverse we have to find out, that means it should be 1 by z and their product should be 1. So what is 1 by z? Because 1 z and 1 by z product only it will be 1, no? Z into 1 by z. Their product is 1. So now let us find out 1 by z. So 1 by z. 1 by z means 1 by a plus iota b or b iota. Now to make it real, we multiply this denominator by its conjugate. What shall we get? 1 by a plus iota b multiplied by a minus iota b. Then here also you have to multiply 1 minus a minus 1 minus a minus iota b. Okay, no? So it will be a minus iota b divided by a square plus b square. No? Because it will be a square minus iota b whole square. Iota square is minus 1. So it will be plus like that. So it will be a by a square plus b square, then plus minus iota, you can say, or iota into minus b by a square plus b square. So this will be the 1 by z. Remember this. So next time when you are given a complex number and directly you want to find out its conjugate. Suppose a complex number z is given, there is 2 plus iota 3, then you want 1 by z, directly you can use this. It will be 2 by 2 square plus 3 square, that is 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9, so 4 plus 9 13, plus iota minus b, b means 3, minus 3 by 13. So this will be the what call multiplicative inverse of z. Got the idea, dear students? So dear students, let's start with exercise 5.1. Question number 1. 5 iota into minus 3 by 5 iota. We need to express it in the form of a plus iota b. No? So for that, you can do like this. Multiply the real with real, 5 into minus 3 by 5. Then iota into iota is iota square. So then 5 cancel. Yeah, so it will be minus 3 into iota square is minus 1. That will be equal to plus 3, which can be written as 3 plus 0 into iota, which is in the form of a plus b iota. Okay, dear students, this is how we can write. Next number you see, iota to the power of 9 plus iota to the power of 19. That we have to express in the form of a plus b iota. So again, second number is iota to the power of 9 plus iota to the power of 19. If we express it in the form of iota to the power of 4k plus r, so then it will be iota to the power of 4 into 2 plus 1 plus iota to the power of 4 into 4 plus 3. As you know, if the remainder is 1, if the remainder is 1, then it will be equal to iota. And if the remainder is 3, then it will be minus iota plus minus iota. Remainder is 3. You remember, no? One table I have given you. So that is equal to 0. 0 can be expressed as 0 plus 0 iota. 0 into iota, which is in the form of a plus b iota. Okay, dear students? So iota to the power of minus 39 is there. Third question, iota to the power of minus 39, which can be written as which can be written as 1 by iota to the power of plus 39, and 39 can be written as 1 by iota to the power of 4 into 9 plus 3. Then if it is 4 into 9 plus 3, that means it will be minus iota. So 1 by minus iota, because it is 4 times of 9 plus 3. 3 is the remainder. So minus iota, which can also be written as, to make it positive, we can multiply here another iota here. So 1 by minus iota multiplied by iota. Here also iota. Then it will be minus 1, again minus, that is plus iota. No? Because it will be iota by minus iota square, which can be written as plus iota. So at the end, this will be 0 plus iota into 1. So this is in the form of a plus iota b. Okay, dear students. So like this, you can try the remaining questions. So today your homework will be from question number 4 to question number 10. 4 to 10 from exercise, that is 5.1. These questions you try at home and show it to me. Then we will discuss in our next class. Thank you and have a nice day.